Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy L-Dub, and we got a new reaction video. We got content. Today we are going to be doing a reaction video to he killed a teen who flashed his kids and his family too. Ooh, man, I understand. I totally understand, but you don't want to be killing nobody, because when you kill somebody, that's your whole life. And unless you do it in self-defense, then that's different. But if you just go and kill, then you're gonna miss out on your family, you're gonna miss out on everything. If that's basically your whole life, that sounds like he probably took it too far, which is understandable at the same time, because the person did flash his kid and family. I don't know how old the kids is, but without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get inside this story and see what all happened. So let's go ahead and let's dub it.
Arcade boy.
Ooh, dub, you killing them. What I say, hard for the night.
When a man reported his neighbor exposing himself to his kids to the police, he grew frustrated when they weren't acting on it immediately. He decided to take matters into his own hands, and he took it out on more people than just that neighbor. There have been a good number of stories in the past where a father has taken it upon himself to attack someone who has abused his kids, and they're usually met with a lot of praise. I mean, after all, people don't tend to feel much sympathy for child predators. This story is a bit different, as the father went in a different direction that a lot of people felt was much too far. So with that, let's get into it. Today's story took place on West Brown Avenue in Kellogg, Idaho. This is where a couple of neighboring families shared different apartments in a small vertical duplex building. On the first story of this home, you had apartment A. This is where the Gardepy family, Kenna Gardepy, her father Kenneth Gardepy, and the two kids Devin Smith and Aiken Smith all lived together. Above them, on the second story in apartment B, was the Kaler family, consisting of Major John Kaler, his wife Kaylee, and their three kids. Everything went sour for these neighbors one day. While we can't know what happened exactly, the mother on the top floor, Kaylee, wrote on Facebook that she had been outside with her daughters when they saw the 18-year-old son of the family below them, Devin, in his window. She said that he exposed himself, was shaking his junk around, and was jerking it through the window for her and her daughters, both under the age of 13 at the time, to see.
Wow. Yeah, something's definitely wrong with Buddy. I don't know if it's like mental illness, but yeah, doing something like that, and yeah, there's something definitely wrong with Buddy. How old is he? He's a teenager. How old is he? A teenager? 18, 17? Yeah, you can't be doing something like that. I don't know if it could be mental or he just be doing it, but yeah.
Whether or not this is
can't be doing that. Definitely can't.
True is up for debate, but there is circumstantial evidence to show that it was. First off, someone who went to school with Devin has come to state to the media that he really was like that. One of his female classmates said that he did harass her at school and was known to be inappropriate. A family friend of Devin's also told the media that he had a learning disability and struggled socially, saying that a program at school was trying to help him out, implying that his
sound like he's just freaked out. That's what it sounds like. If you got classmates saying that he does crazy sexually stuff, he's just a freaked out young individual, and that should have been handled as soon as somebody said something about it, but it just wasn't handled.
behavior was something known. Also, according to Devin's own uncle, he did have some sort of unspecified mental illness and was getting some amount of support from his family. Kaylee's husband, Major John, was understandably furious to hear about all of this after it happened. The family decided to call the police and tell them about the whole thing, hoping that they would take care of it somehow. The police came out on June 13th, 2023. When they did, it seems that the police found reason to believe that the accusations were true. Chief Paul Twidd said, "We responded to the call, investigated the call, and the report was done that day and submitted to the prosecutor's office for charges." While speaking to the officer, Major John told him that the only reason he didn't take matters into his own hands that night was because he had just had shoulder surgery. However, he told the officer honestly that he would handle it and, quote, "somebody's going to get hurt if it happened again."
He looked crazy himself. Look at him. He said he gonna do business if y'all don't do nothing. And he said, "All right, you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna handle it." And that's what it sounded like he did.
"If something happens again, I'm not going to call you guys," he added. Although no arrest was made that day, the prosecutors were recommended to charge Devin Smith with a misdemeanor count of indecent exposure. The prosecutors told the reporting officer that the charge would be filed. However, they didn't get around to it immediately. While the charges were in the pipeline, they didn't make that public, leading to the Kaler family assuming that they had blown them off and weren't going to do much about it. Over the next several days, the Kaler family was left fuming. Each day got a little more intense as they felt that Devin had likely gotten away with it. Major John and Kaylee began to talk about what they would do if an incident like that happened again. When Major John said that he would hurt someone, Kaylee assumed he meant he would go and beat him up. Over chat, the two of them began to share images and memes related to the incident. One of them was the infamous photo of Gary Plausch, the father who shot his son's abuser.
I remember this video. This guy right here. I guess he did something to this person's son, and he just takes his piece, and like this is all on film too. He just goes like this and straight to the head. It's a gruesome video. Y'all can go find that video. It's very gruesome. Straight headshot.
On the news for all to see. Major John also shared a meme of the same photo with the text, "How to Catch a Predator," and a drawing of Gary Plausch firing his gun. When June 18th came around, Major John took a carpool to work to go work in the mines. It had been 5 days since they had reported Devin to the police, and he was getting very antsy that nothing had happened. On the ride to work, Major John implied to his boss that he might be going to jail soon. Safe to say, his boss didn't assume that he was being serious. When Major John came home from the mines that Sunday evening, he was ready to get something done himself. A surveillance video was taken from a nearby business that showed the outside area of their duplex. Major John was seen coming home from work, going inside for a bit, and then coming out again to walk around the yard. He was seen walking near the business where Kenna, the mom who lived upstairs, worked. Then he was seen ducking behind a trailer where he had a very good view of their shared backyard space. In that area was the back door to the first floor apartment where Devin lived. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that he was scoping out the scene. Major John went inside and put a gun in his holster and an extra magazine in his pocket before going back out to water the plants in the shared backyard. While he and his wife were out there, Kenna came outside. They all got into an argument over Devin. Both Major John and his wife felt that she wasn't taking the situation seriously at all. Major John later said of the argument, quote, "They were saying there's nothing you can do about it. He can do whatever he wants. They were smugger than fuck. There's no way to politely say, there was no remorse. There was no we're sorry, or, yeah, it's a problem and we're working on it. Nothing." While that is only his description of the conversation, it's very evident that the argument didn't go smoothly. While Major John's wife was a little further away in the yard, he abruptly pulled out his handgun and fired it at Kenna's chest. Once she fell to the ground, Major John turned his gun to her father.
He shot the father too? What? He's like, he basically said, if y'all ain't doing nothing about your kid, then y'all out of here. Jeez. Oh my, I don't think he just killed the teenager. He shot the father and the mother?
Kenneth. He shot him in the chest as well, sending him collapsing to the ground. Once they were down, Major John walked over to each one of them and ducked down to shoot them each one more time, with the gun pressed up against their temples. Major John then made his way into the home through the still open back door. Inside was the 16-year-old son, Aiken Smith. It appeared that he had hit the ground after hearing the shots, as he was lying down in a prone position on the floor. Major John made his way over to him as well and shot him at point-blank range where he laid.
He shot the...
Then he finally made his way over to his main...
But little dude ain't had nothing to do with it. It was the other one. What? He said he's gonna try to take out the whole. He said he's gonna take out a whole bloodline. Cause y'all ain't trying to do nothing. He said he put matters in his whole hand and took out the whole bloodline at this point. God damn.
Target, that being Devin. He shot him multiple times from close range, hitting him all over the chest. It was said that, based on the total amount of bullets fired, he had to reload before he began firing even more shots at him. In the end, 4 of the bullets hit Devin.
He unloaded a full clip and put in some more and unloaded another clip. Yeah, nah. Okay. That's overkill. That's overkill. Like this ain't self-defense. This is just not. This ain't good at all. Now you about to go to jail. Definitely for life, because you basically just took out the whole family, took out the whole bloodline. Like, everybody else is innocent, and like, I'm thinking like you just going for the one that flashed your kids, but no, you said you gonna take out the whole family. I don't know. It just feel like a weirdo just met another weirdo, and it just class together like that. That's what I'm getting from this.
With that, the whole family was gone and Major John was done. At 7:20 p.m., the police got their first call that the entire family had been executed. Major John had been the one to call the police himself. He told the dispatcher, "This is Major John Kaler. I just went downstairs and executed a fucking pedophile and his family." The dispatcher, making sure that they had heard him right, responded, "You shot somebody?" He replied with a blunt, "I shot 4 people. They're all dead." He walked over to his wife and gave her his phone, keys, and wallet. He asked her to please tell the kids that he had protected them. He then placed his handgun in his truck and waited for the police to show up. Shortly after, they got another call saying that shots had been fired in the neighborhood. This person on the phone told them someone executed his neighbors. The police were already on their way out to the scene, and they arrived there only minutes later. One sergeant arrived on scene and saw Major John just standing there in the middle of the street. When another officer, Sergeant Belaski, arrived, Major John was very willing to tell him what had happened. According to the court documents, the conversation went like this. Belaski asked Major John, "What's going on?" To which he replied, "I just shot all 4 of my neighbors." Belaski shot back with a confused, "You what?" And Major John clarified, again saying, "I shot all 4 of my neighbors." Belaski collected himself a little and asked, "Okay, do you have the firearm on you?" To which he responded, "No, it's put away." Belaski seemed relieved, only saying, "Okay." Major John let them know that he was the one who called the cops. Belaski then said, "Drop down to the ground now." Major John said that he would, but told them that his shoulder was broken. Belaski said, "Okay, drop down on the ground." With a "that's fine," Major John complied. Belaski then asked him one more time, "You shot 4 people?" To which he said, "Yup." Belaski waited for a second before saying,
happy about
"Okay."
it too.
Major John then explained himself more, saying, "The neighbor's a pedophile. I've called the cops twice, they've refused to do anything." Belaski evidently wasn't really moved by his words, only saying, Okay, don't move." And Major John complied. Belaski then noticed a neighbor standing nearby and told her, "I'm going to pat you down for weapons." This neighbor didn't seem to mind. Major John then called out, "She's got nothing to do with this, she's just a neighbor." Major John then went on to explain to the cops that Devin had exposed himself to his wife and children through a window. This time he said that it had happened 3 times in total. He said that they had called the cops twice, but nothing was ever done. He then said that the cops personally told him that nothing could be done, which evidently wasn't the case, being that...
So some parts... Okay. I would definitely say that it is the police's fault, because they been calling, like, hey, this young teenager is doing this constantly, and y'all not doing nothing. So, and it's been happening so much that he just basically got fed up and said, I'm gonna just take the law into his own hands, and that's basically what he did. But I think he just went overboard by taking out the whole family as he did it. But definitely the police fault on this one.
The charges were set to be filed. He ended his explanation, saying, "So I decided to do something about it." He was arrested shortly after. The medical examiner came to determine the way that Devin and his family had been killed. The police noted on their own that they found both blood and tissue on Major John's gun, a .45 caliber high-point semi-automatic pistol, which was consistent with very close-range shots. While speaking to investigators, Major John told the police that he had snapped and lost it over what had been going on. He was very upset that Kenna and her father didn't take the concern seriously. His wife stated very much of the same, saying,
I don't know if they're gonna believe like the snap and lost it, because like you was doing a whole bunch of other stuff before you took place in the killing. So now they got you for premeditation murder, and if that, it's definitely gonna be murder, probably first degree murder. But yeah, it's definitely premeditated. So they ain't gonna believe I just snapped and went crazy. They're not gonna buy that.
He told her he did what he had to do, and to tell the kids he protected them. Major John was thrown into jail without bail. He was looking at a whole lot of time in prison. If he was found guilty, he could even face the death penalty. It's safe to assume that he thought the jury in a case like this would be on his side. After all, fathers have gotten lesser sentences for killing pedophiles in the past. However, most of those fathers didn't go on to exterminate their target's entire family one by one.
Right.
That was going to make this case pretty different. He was facing, of course, 4 charges of murder. He was also looking at a felony burglary charge for his entering into the apartment. It was found that he had a sporadic history of criminal charges throughout his life in the past, mostly related to traffic offenses, drugs, or battery. The mother he killed, Kenna, had a friend who set up a GoFundMe page for the rest of her family on her behalf. She said that the whole family didn't deserve what had come to them, adding that the 16-year-old Aiken had to pay for a crime that he had nothing to do with. It said that Kenna and the rest of the family never got...
The other boy, he had nothing to do with it. It was just this one right here. He's just being a weirdo. But this one, he didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. None of them deserve it. But, at the same time, the police ain't do nothing about this weirdo right here. And what happened was the dad just got fed up. Now, did he snap? No. But I think it was just constantly in his mind, like, he really just going to do that for my kids? Not one time, not 2 times, 3 times. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, go handle that, and that's what he did. He said he gonna handle business, and he probably he took it way too far. I'll definitely say that. But yeah, this is a crazy situation.
To tell their side of the story,
there's a lot of weird people in this world, man. Get your mental health in check, guys. Get your mental health in check.
The fundraiser stated, they were good people. They did not in any way deserve for their whole family to be wiped out. The prosecuting attorney, Ben Allen, called the whole thing horrific. He added, admissions were ultimately made to the offenses charged, pointing out that there wasn't going to be much of a debate in the courts. The police chief stood by the opinion that his officer, who took Major John's original report, hadn't really done much to inform the family that the charges were being filed. They don't normally do that.
That's an interesting first name. They've been saying Major John. Major John. That is an interesting first name. Wonder what made him name him that.
He said, "I stand by what my officer did, and he did everything he could at the time. Nobody could have foreseen anything like this." During his first court appearance, Major John was still denied bond. He was ordered to stay in jail for the time being. Another hearing was set for July. The prosecution and the defense began to mediate. It was here that they decided upon a possible plea deal. Major John could enter a guilty plea to 4 counts of murder, and in exchange they would downgrade the charges from first to second-degree murder. In addition, they would also dismiss the felony burglary charge. In December, he formally pled guilty to some of those lesser charges, those being to the 4 counts of second-degree murder. The case would come to drag on for a little while. Nothing would be finalized until a few months later in March of 2024. This was when his sentencing would finally take place. Both his family and the victim's extended family were there to see it go down. He walked into court wearing his jail outfit, his handcuffs, and shackles around his ankles. Major John's court-appointed attorney argued on his behalf, saying that the government had failed both him and his family in their inaction. He said that, even though he had reported what Devin was doing to the police, they never acted. The judge offered to allow Major John to speak for himself, but he declined. He simply said, "No, thank you." The prosecuting attorney asked for a flat 50 years in prison. Major John's attorney requested that he just be let out on parole. That was going to be a very hard sell considering he had killed 3 more people than just Devin,
Right.
including the 16-year-old son who wouldn't have had control over anything that was going on. The judge came to hear a number of victim impact statements provided by members of the victim's extended family. They were addressed to either the judge or to Major John himself. One family member said, "Words will never describe the loneliness I feel daily. All of us have had our lives changed to grief." Kenna's mother added, "We lost 3 generations. I haven't seen, heard, or touched my kids in 9 months. I can't sleep." The grandfather, Kenneth's brother, spoke as well. He had some harsh words for Major John. He said, "You just snapped. Did you snap when you told a coworker you were going to do something that would get you in trouble later? Did you snap when you loaded 2 magazines to the maximum with ammunition? Did you snap when you strapped on a semi-automatic pistol? Did you snap when you crept around casing the apartments, looking for your victims prior to..."
Like I said, like he's not going to get the whole I went crazy deal, because everything was premeditated. Like, you basically were saying, "Hey, I'm about to go to jail." You loaded up the pistols, loaded up your firearm, and you was casing the place, waiting for him. So all that, trying to maybe get insanity plea is going to be definitely out the window. You just basically took out a whole family.
The incident. Did you snap when you confronted them and continuously pulled the trigger until both magazines were empty? He ended by saying, "What a man you are. Not only did you destroy my family, but yours as well." While Major John had been looking at 50 years in prison previously, the judge decided against it after hearing the impact statements. Instead, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Life in prison. You ain't gonna be around your kids. You ain't gonna be around your wife. Before you start doing things, y'all, be smart, because you don't want to end your life in prison. If you have kids, try to live for your kids. Try to live for your wife. Try to live for your family. Don't. I get it. Stuff happens. We get all emotion and stuff, but we don't have to take it too far, right? And now look at this. He got to spend the rest of life in prison. He probably ain't gonna be able to endure to watch his kids grow for real, or go to kids' graduations, see them get married, or see them. He might see grandkids, but still, you have to see stuff on the other side of the cell and not really living life. So just be careful what you do, and don't let your emotions be too involved, okay?
His lawyer argued for him to see parole at some point, but the judge refused it. Major John himself gave no reaction at all when the sentencing was handed down. It seemed that he had accepted the outcome. The family of the victims were happy with the outcome themselves. Kaylee Kaler, Major John's wife, continued to show support for him on Facebook for quite some time. However, as of about a year after Major John's sentencing, it seems she's moved on and gotten herself a new boyfriend.
Look. You in jail for life, and your wife done moved on. Now somebody else is taking care of your kids. Y'all gotta be smart. Y'all gotta be smart out here. Gotta be. He look older too. An older fellow with a younger woman. But hey, that's whatever they like. But yeah, man. Damn. Y'all gotta be smart out here, guys. Please be smart. Don't let y'all's emotions be too involved, because this is what can happen. You be in jail for life, and that person you was with is going to eventually move on, because there's nothing they could do, because you in jail. So they're going to have to be happy from the other side while you on the other side with the guys, you know?
Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, as it really helps me out in the algorithm, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
That's gonna be it for that video, y'all. Oh man, that's crazy. Like I said, don't go off your rockers, man. Think with your head. Think with y'all's heads, all right? Think what y'all said. Don't just do something out sporadic, you know. Just think what y'all said. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm thankful for y'all, grateful for y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe to the channel. And this is going to be it for this one, man. It's your boy L-DUBNATION. Let's dub it.